They say if you see her, it's already too late. Welcome back, horror lovers, but tonight's story isn't just about ghosts. It's about grief, silence, and a darkness that waits patiently in the mist. Today we dive deep into The Woman in Black, not just another haunted house flick, but a chilling gothic horror that creeps under your skin and lingers in your thoughts long after the credits roll. Set in a desolate English village swallowed by fog and superstition, this film plays with more than jump scares. It whispers dread into every shadow, every creak of wood, every breathless pause. The atmosphere is cold, quiet, and cursed. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. This ghost story is rooted in very real fears: loss, isolation, and the kind of vengeance only a mother's grief could summon. In this video, we'll walk you through the eerie plot, unravel its haunting symbolism, and reveal some chilling behind-the-scenes details that most viewers miss, including a forgotten truth about the real-life location that inspired the story. So stick with us till the end. You'll leave with more than just a summary. You'll understand why The Woman in Black is one of the most quietly terrifying films of the last decade. Welcome to Movies Review, where every story hides a darker truth. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep, faceless journeys into the shadows of cinema. At the heart of The Woman in Black lies Arthur Kipps, a grieving lawyer still haunted by the death of his wife. He's a quiet man, emotionally worn down, struggling to keep his job while raising his young son alone. When he's sent to a remote village to settle the estate of a deceased woman, it seems like a simple legal task, just paperwork and signatures. But from the moment he arrives, everything feels wrong. The villagers are cold, distant, their eyes hold something they won't say. They whisper behind doors, and when Arthur mentions the old Marsh house, the property he's come to sort out, their faces harden. It's as if the house is cursed, or worse, alive. That house isn't just a setting, it's a presence. Isolated on a stretch of land only reachable when the tide is low, it's surrounded by marshes and thick fog. When the tide rises, the road disappears, and so does safety. Inside, the home is filled with relics of a lost time, old toys, torn photographs, and an eerie sense of stillness. But it doesn't stay still for long. Arthur begins to witness unexplained sounds, fleeting shadows, and the chilling sight of a woman dressed all in black, a figure always seen from afar, watching, waiting. Locals deny her, but children die, one after another, and always after someone sees her. As Arthur digs deeper, he uncovers a past soaked in tragedy and rage. The further he investigates, the more dangerous things become, not just for him, but for anyone around him. This is no ordinary. The Woman in Black may appear as a classic ghost story on the surface, but beneath its pale skin lies a meditation on grief, guilt, and the human mind's fragile edge. The film doesn't rely on gore or flashy effects. Instead, it leans into silence, and what silence says when it's stretched too long. It explores how trauma doesn't just haunt the dead, it haunts the living. Arthur Kipps isn't just running from a ghost, he's drowning in sorrow. The loss of his wife has left a permanent shadow over his heart. And as he steps into Marsh house, it becomes clear he's not the only one touched by loss. Every creaking floorboard, every child's cry, every room frozen in time tells a story, one soaked in mourning. The movie also deals with the fear of the unknown and the even deeper fear of what we do know but can't explain. The Woman in Black isn't a spectre that screams. She stares, she waits, she appears in the corner of your eye, and somehow that's more terrifying than a dozen jump scares. She represents pain, the kind that doesn't leave, that infects everything around it. At its core, the story is about parental grief and vengeance. A mother who lost her child and can't move on. A spirit not at rest, but actively seeking justice or revenge. There's no peace here, only bitterness. That emotional depth is what separates The Woman in Black from other horror films. It doesn't just scare you, it unsettles you, emotionally and psychologically, and leaves you wondering how much of it was really supernatural and how much was simply sorrow, unspoken for too long. If fear had a color, The Woman in Black paints in shades of grey. The entire film is soaked in a cold, lifeless palette, muted blues, ashen skies, and fog so thick it becomes a character of its own. The cinematography is masterfully bleak. Every shot feels like it's holding its breath, and that tension builds a mood that makes you uneasy before anything even happens. There's an eerie beauty in the way the camera moves, slow, deliberate, like someone tiptoeing through a graveyard. Long, static shots hold just a bit too long. Corners of the frame seem like something should appear, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That uncertainty keeps your nerves frayed throughout. Eel Marsh House isn't just haunted, it feels abandoned by time. Its wood creaks with memory. Its toys left behind in children's rooms seem to whisper stories of a past that ended badly. The silence in the house is louder than screams, and it's often broken by sharp, jarring sounds. A chair rocking, a door slamming, a child's distant laughter. And then there's the fog, the ever-present fog that rolls across the marshes and smothers the landscape. It's not just visual, it's emotional. It traps Arthur in a place where nothing is clear, where the film is a slow burn, unapologetically so. It doesn't rush the fear. It allows you to sit with it, to feel it build in your chest like a storm that never quite breaks. And that's what makes it effective. The Woman in Black doesn't chase you, it waits, quietly. And somehow that's even worse. Daniel Radcliffe steps far away from his boy wizard image in this role, and he does it with quiet intensity. As Arthur Kipps, he isn't loud or expressive, he's inward, subtle, and that's exactly what the film needs. Arthur is a man holding it together by sheer will, and Radcliffe portrays that emotional exhaustion with surprising maturity. There's a sadness behind his eyes in nearly every scene. A quiet weight that makes his character feel real, even when the world around him slips into the supernatural. His fear isn't theatrical, it's restrained, controlled. And that restraint makes the moments of horror hit even harder. The supporting cast, though small, adds layers of mystery to the story. Every villager seems to be hiding something. They don't welcome Arthur, they warn him without saying much. Their silence speaks volumes, especially Mr. Daly, played with a delicate edge by Kieran Hines. He's the one character who dares to stand beside Arthur, even if he doesn't fully believe in what's happening. One of the film's strengths is its use of non-verbal acting. There are entire stretches where not much is said, and yet everything is felt. The fear, the suspicion, the grief. It's written on faces, hidden in glances, carried in heavy footsteps through dark hallways. The Woman in Black doesn't need over-the-top performances to be terrifying. It thrives in the stillness, and the cast respects that tone with a level of discipline rarely seen in modern horror. One of the greatest strengths of The Woman in Black is its loyalty to traditional horror. In a time where fast cuts, loud music, and jump scares dominate the genre, this film pulls back. It builds dread the old-fashioned way, through atmosphere, suggestion, and the quiet creeping of fear. It's not just a scary story, it's a crafted experience. Every element, from the sound design to the color grading, serves a purpose. Nothing feels random. The filmmakers clearly understood that sometimes what you don't see is far more frightening than what you do. The patience in storytelling is commendable. It allows viewers to breathe in the tension, to become part of the eerie world rather than just watching it. And because it takes its time, the horror feels earned. When something finally does appear, it chills you to the bone. Another strength is the setting itself. Eel Marsh House is iconic, not because it's grand or ornate, but because it feels like a memory turned into a nightmare. The location adds layers to the story. You can feel the decay, not just of the house, but of the lives once lived inside it. And perhaps the most overlooked strength of the film is its emotional core. Beneath the ghosts, there is pain. Beneath the horror, there is heartbreak. And that humanity makes the terror feel personal. The woman in black isn't just trying to scare you. She's reminding you of the cost of loss and what happens when it turns into rage, Steving the scare, or so manage. While many appreciate The Woman in Black for its throwback style, not everyone will find it satisfying. The pacing, especially in the first half, is deliberately slow. For viewers used to fast-paced horror, it may feel too restrained, like it's always building towards something that never fully explodes. Crept off. There's also the fact that the film avoids complex twists. It follows a more traditional ghost story structure, which some might see as predictable. If you're looking for surprises or mind-bending reveals, this isn't that kind of horror. The scares are subtle. There are no screaming monsters or bloody confrontations. Everything is quiet, sometimes too quiet, and for thrill seekers, that may leave the experience feeling underwhelming. Grektoff. If you film the scares association in the first half, what it become in Nor? Another divisive element is the ending. Some viewers find it poetic, others call it bleak, and screaming, and even often terted disivited. Made to association, it doesn't offer neat closure. Instead, it leaves a lingering discomfort. And while that fits the tone of the film, it may not be what casual viewers want. Still, even with these critiques, the movie's psychological tension is undeniable. It may not be loud, but it echoes. It gets under your skin and stays there. And that kind of horror, for many, is far more lasting than a jump scare. This is anoided. It just stays in kind of horror, a fact the movie's how pleased the leads along a childish con of honor. In the end, The Woman in Black is not just a horror movie, it's an experience, a slow descent into a world where grief becomes a ghost, silence becomes a scream, and every shadow feels like it's watching you. What makes this film so memorable isn't just the supernatural element, it's the emotional depth hiding behind it. It's the way the story lingers in quiet moments, forcing you to listen to the spaces between sounds. Without a 95 deaths in 2 households, and this full movie's also become imposure. This film is a perfect choice for those who crave more than jump scares. If you love atmospheric, slow-burning horror that creeps under your skin rather than jumping out at you, this is your kind of nightmare. It's for fans of stories that unfold like old letters, delicate, dark, and full of secrets. Even the swirls held upside that cell cases, The Woman in Black stays with you because it doesn't just haunt the characters, it haunts Grektoff. It allows you to many this creature. It is Christ in your horror. It raises a question that isn't easily answered. Was the terror real, or was it just sorrow wearing a veil? The films don't never want to say horror, was even stays with you feeling, and this enjoy singled happen. Or first that says, if The Woman in Black isn't just I leaved. Whatever you believe, one thing is certain, some stories refuse to stay buried, and this one, once seen, is never truly forgotten.